How will XRP make the world's banking system stronger is the question that everyone has. A piece written by Versant for Black Swan Capitalist, I believe this to be very useful. Let's start right away. You have to get past the noise and speculation to really understand how XRP can hit a price that reflects its role in the future financial system. It's not about market shifts or trends. This is a story about how infrastructure, adoption, clear laws, and the need for it are all moving forward quietly and without stopping. XRP is different from all other cryptocurrencies, as I've said many times. It isn't just another computer thing. Step by step, it will become the base of a multi-trillion-dollar financial system, creating real-time payment lanes with on-demand liquidity. If you pay attention, you'll see this happen. Regarding the main reason for XRP's growth, Ripple's main goal is to fix cross-border payments, which is one of the biggest problems with today's old financial system. Nostro-Vostro accounts are still used by traditional systems like SWIFT. With these accounts, banks have to put a lot of money into foreign accounts ahead of time. This holds trillions of dollars that could be put to better use. Also, payment time goes from seconds to days, and costs and counterparty risk go up for no reason. Especially when going through the US dollar, I've seen as much as $15 to $25 trillion locked up in Nostro-Vostro accounts around the world. These are the kinds of things that will really help financial companies get all of this value to use it. Imagine that your bank gave more funds to small businesses, students, or people in need in the community that it serves. This money could be used for many good things. Just think of how much each country's GDP would grow when it came back in. Plus, banks have a little trouble with cash flow. This fixes a lot of problems. Naturally, the big banks that have been around for a long time would be the ones that get hit the hardest. Come back in. RippleNet and its on-demand funding products use XRP as a neutral bridge asset to make this work. A bank doesn't have to keep pre-funded accounts all over the world. Instead, it can change its own currency into XRP, send it across the ledger in seconds, and then change it back into the target currency in real time. There is no pre-funding, no middleman, and no counterparty risk related to changes in the value of the dollar. There is just quick settlement with a lot less hassle. Just that changes the game. Like a lot of other cryptocurrencies, Ripple hasn't been making a lot of noise. Block by block, it's been making real progress for more than 10 years. It is now live in Asia, Africa, Latin America, and the Middle East, while the US falls behind. These are not tests for pilots. These are real payment lanes that are monitored and used every day by real people to send and receive XRP. Let's zoom out now. Every corridor is a straight replacement for SWIFT infrastructure that is too old. And as those routes get bigger, so does the amount of XRP that is needed to keep throughput and liquidity high. That's one way that natural institutional demand for XRP starts to bring together global value flows, one connection at a time. Then, think about all of these different payment routes around the world. Each one will have its own set amount of XRP. You're not just going to this group of XRP and expecting it to do this corridor, then this corridor. This is where they're going to leave it. As more lanes open up, more XRP will be needed for each one. It says to zoom out now. Wow, did it zoom out on its own? What kind of way? That was pretty odd. Let me come back to this. Now take a step back. Each passageway replaces a specific piece of old SWIFT infrastructure, and they can all be used together. The amount of XRP needed to keep the flow and currency steady also changes. Please excuse me. That's one way that natural institutional demand for XRP starts to bring together global value flows, one connection at a time. Now let's talk about how to get around regulatory systems and become legally accepted around the world. Regulatory clarity is one of the biggest problems for any digital object that wants to be used all over the world. Ripple's case against the SEC didn't just slow down adoption in the US. In a smart move, it kept XRP out of reach of most people while the rest of the world got ready to take on the world's biggest economy. But Ripple didn't fold. Instead, it turned its attention to the whole world. This is where things start to look fishy. While the SEC was suing Ripple, the organizations that were suing were quietly starting to use the technology that the lawsuit was based on. That should be a red flag, but I don't know what else will. Today, Ripple has licenses and safety certifications in a huge number of places, such as Singapore, the EU, the UAE, and many more. This is important because adoption by institutions can't happen without legal clarity. Keep your mind on the case and don't let anything else come up. It's just noise. It's becoming clearer around the world that regulations like the Genius Act, which I think just passed in the US, and the EU's MECA are here to stay. XRP is the only digital currency that already meets these standards, so it continues to grow. This is not a guess. It's written down. To be even more clear, a federal judge in the US has already said that XRP is not a security. This is because Ripple has spent years building a strong legal foundation. Just that clarity is what makes it possible for national and institutional integrations to happen. Both banks and states need safety nets that fit inside them. That's more than just a big step. It's what the law says XRP can do to change the whole world financial system. The use of infrastructure is growing, as are central banks. Ripple's technology and systems are already being used by central banks all over the world. The next part of the story is what they do, but one thing that is clear is that a lot of these central banks are testing and studying central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs. At this point, 132 countries have moved forward with some form of CBDC. It is said that Ripple works with more than 20 central banks. A lot of that hasn't been said yet, so we still don't know things like whether it's some Eurozone countries like France or something else. I think more information will come out about this in the UK over the next few years. They say it doesn't matter if those CBDCs work or not. In fact, billions of people will not be able to make the switch, which is why we need an alternative digital payment system to fill the gap. People who don't care about this either don't know the truth or would rather live in a fairy tale. It's hard to imagine that digital money would need a fast, safe, and neutral settlement layer to work across countries. That layer is already being built by Ripple. Ripple has made its CBDC private ledger public, and several central banks are busy testing it. This means that states can create and control their own digital currencies that are safe for privacy. Ripple doesn't do anything without following the rules. It's one of the world's most controlled and compliant crypto companies, and I think there must be a reason for that, right? They need to make sure that everything is great here because the people they work with and the customers are at the very top of the financial system. But here's the important part. Digital money or CBDCs won't work by themselves. They need to be able to work with each other, and XRP can help with that again. They all seem like good ideas, but how do you link all of them together? Is that a bridge asset like XRP? If XRP is going to be the asset that can be used as a bridge between all types of digital money and standard payment systems, then central banks can use XRP liquidity whenever they need to settle transactions in real time. For digital assets and digital money, this is another way that XRP changes from a payment bridge to the digital plumbing for digital money. As more CBDCs connect to Ripple's network, XRP becomes the unseen force that makes it possible for people to send and receive money across borders. This is already taking place little by little, jurisdiction by jurisdiction.